So happy Sunday morning. Just as a reminder, we're not going to have one of these next week because I will be in Texas. So hopefully I can provide you enough info and enough ideas so that you feel well equipped to go into the next 2 weeks, and then we'll reconvene on May 8th, which is Mother's Day week. Oh, Mother's Day. Yeah, we'll do it. I'll be here Mother's Day. Or we can do Saturday if that would be better for people. Maybe I'll just take a general consensus because I know a lot of people go to brunch and stuff like that on Mother's Day. So maybe we'll do Saturday the 8th instead. So today we're going to talk about some things to ask yourself before you post, some ideas for posting, and how do you transition from providing value into sales? I'm going to start with that because I think that's the most important piece, because we're all here. We're not here to just, yes, we're here to provide value to other people, but also we want to get monetized for it. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. You're spending all this time putting into your content, spending all this time like away from your family, sacrificing whatever that looks like, and you want your time to be worth it. Otherwise, why would you be doing all that, right? If you're spending time on social media but you're not stepping up to actually sell, again, it's a hobby for you because you're not getting compensated, so it's just something that you like to do. It's like spending hours on a painting and then not selling it. It doesn't make any sense. If you're wanting to make money in this industry, in this business, on social media, you have to have the courage to step up and sell. And I think people get this conception of sales that it's something icky, like you think of the car salesman that sells you the car that ends up being something that you didn't expect it to be, and it just doesn't feel good, and everyone leaves the day after being at the car dealership all crabby and stuff like that. And that is, maybe you hate the idea of it because of what someone told you that selling was, not that what it actually is. Selling is just, we're sold to on a constant basis, you guys. You're sold to by your kids when they're trying to ask you if they can do something. Like maybe you're sold to by your husband. He's trying to convince you to do something, so he'll do something in exchange. We're sold to on a constant basis. And so you should by no means feel icky selling to people if you're doing it in the exact right way, because if you're doing it in the right way, people don't even know what's happening. They just see that you're providing a solution to something. Now, of course, there are right and wrong ways to go about selling. I think we all know the hey girl method of selling, and that is a thing of the past. And we want to make sure that what we're doing for people is providing them value up front, and then giving them solutions to the problems that they have, whether that's with financial or if that is with their health. And the amazing thing is that we can solve both of those things. So if you feel uncomfortable asking for the sale or talking about your products or talking about your opportunity, chances are you just need practice. And the more practice you put in, the more comfortable it will feel. But I'm going to give you some tangible ways that you can do direct selling and indirect selling. Now, don't get this confused that we are in the direct sales market. Yes, but there are different forms of selling, and I want to show you how you can do that. So the first and then one that I'm going to talk about is called indirect selling. So we've narrowed down our niche, the people that we're trying to connect with. We're providing them value on a daily basis. Maybe we're talking about specific things that are going to help them in the wheelhouse that we've identified that we have ways to provide value. So how do you indirect sell something to people? Now, we have products that can help all walks of life, which is amazing. We have a business opportunity that is unlike any other, because literally you don't have to pay any fees or anything like that. And we're in the world now where getting income via the internet, the Wi-Fi, is something that is more prevalent than ever. Lots of companies are switching to that, and obviously because of the pandemic or whatever. But so we have an even greater opportunity to help people earn income from their phones, basically. So indirect selling is you talking about your product and mixing it in with some other things. So indirect selling might be like you are helping somebody, or you're talking, let's say, I'm going to pick a specific niche. So let's say that you are somebody that is in recovery, and maybe you're talking about these are the things that help make me feel good on a daily basis after recovering from addiction. Because obviously you don't feel good when you're recovering and you're looking for something to make you feel good. So an indirect way of talking about your product would be like, these are the things that I do. Like I take a walk every day. I make sure that I'm eating the right food so I feel good. Maybe it's you spend time in your Bible. Maybe it's you spend time connecting with your community. And then you talk about the products. So maybe you talk about how these are the products that I take that help me feel good every day so that I am operating the best and I'm not constantly seeking that outside feel good, if that makes sense. So another indirect one would be like, maybe your thing is makeup. Like you like doing makeup, you do makeup tutorials, talking about what is your skincare regimen, because that's important for makeup. So this is this 3-step skincare system that I use. This is the face oil I use that might be from a different company, mixing in your product with other things. So an example for me that I've used is I was doing a video in my stories yesterday talking about how leg day is a love-hate relationship for me. And then I talked about this is the protein I usually take afterwards. This is the drink that I take. And it was not a Thrive product. It was a Premier protein shake or whatever that you can buy on Amazon. I told them where they can get that. But then I also transitioned into our products and talked about, and I take this Sculpt, which is an amino acid that helps with my muscle recovery. And this is how much that is. So it's not like you're just focusing on your products, you're mixing other stuff in there. So that's what an indirect sales approach looks like. Direct is where you've provided people with value. You know that you have people that you're building relationships with, whatever that looks like. Direct would be, this is the sale I have going on right now. This is why you need it. This is how it's going to be helpful, and showing your face. If you're not talking in your stories, if you're not going live, if you're not doing any sort of anything that is showing you actually as a real life human, not just in pictures with your words, that is how you build trust with people, when you're actually showing up with your face and your voice and looking like a human, maybe with your pile of shoes in the background or your messy living room that your kid has. I mean, obviously you don't want to look like a hot ass mess, but being relatable and talking to people. So direct would be, this is what I have going on. This is why you need it. I've explained this, that, and the other thing with my specific journey. This is how it's helped me. I want to help you now. And here's the discount that I have, or I'm sending out samples right now, or, here's some other people, this is the discount I'm providing. It's directly talking about just the products, not mixing it in with other things. You need to make sure that you have a healthy balance of indirect sales and direct sales, so that it's not just you constantly asking for something from your audience. The first one is like, these are the things that I use as like a helpful thing. Like, if you want to know the links of where I get these things, like, let me know. It doesn't feel like you're just going after the jugular with our products, but you're mixing in other things. And then there is a time and a place where you need to have the courage to ask. If you've been providing value to your audience, you've been giving them tips, advice, how-tos, whatever, around what your niche is for a period of time, you can ask people permission to sell to them, basically, because you know that you're providing that value on the back end, and then it doesn't feel gross because you know that you've built that trust with them, that you've connected with them enough, and that sort of thing. So if you're talking about whether it's indirect or direct sales in your stories, make sure that you're adding text on the bottom too. I just wanted to throw this in there, because now Instagram has this great feature where it will take your words and just transcribe them, basically. Sometimes people are watching stories at work and maybe they don't want to turn their volume up. So having some sort of text along with what you're doing is going to grab attention, and it's going to help those people that maybe aren't able to listen at this moment in time see what you're saying. The closure of sales, however, I know that, and sometimes I use like the ones that they give, and sometimes I'll just add blurbs that kind of like say what I'm saying without directly quoting everything that I'm saying. I'll pull up, for instance. So like I did some exercises in my stories yesterday, and then I just explained what I was doing. And then when I was doing my like talking about the shake that I drink, I put in there like it's $24 for a 12 pack, $30 for 90 capsules of this and that and the other thing. So some way to caption, grab attention, whatever that looks like. So closure happens in Messenger or the DMs. You're not going to close a sale in your comment section of your post. DM is an intimate place. Messenger is an intimate place where you can get to know what are the struggles that that person's dealing with and how you can provide a solution. We are not widget sellers, you guys. We are problem solvers. So taking the time when someone does click on your poll, yes, I'm ready to order. Taking the time in Messenger with a voice clip to understand what it is that they're specifically dealing with, that makes them feel like they're cared about, and that it's not just another copy paste, that you're not just trying to fill a box, that you're not just trying to fill a tracker, but you truly care about helping them with their needs. And the reason I say as much as you can use voice clips, because there is so much copy and paste right now. They're getting bombarded with probably hey girl messages, or your profile is so pretty, you would be so good at this, without even taking the time to connect with people via voice so that you can customize it to them, and that it demonstrates that you really care about them as a person, as a human, and that you're not just using the same script for every single person. Yes, scripting, there is a time and a place for it. If somebody is new, or if you're enrolling a bunch of new people, you obviously can't expect them to know everything and be successful. So there is a time and a place, but if you've been here for any period of time and you don't use the voice clip, I would suggest start using it. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but you guys, nothing great comes from you feeling comfortable. Everything great comes from you stepping outside of what is comfortable to you. And you will get better the more that you utilize it. And there's this great thing that you can do where you can just slide it to the left if you don't like what you say, and you can try again. Or maybe even just practicing sending yourself a message. What does that sound like on the other end before sending it out? So I'm just checking through my notes. Do I think there is a time and a place for cold messaging? Speaking of DMs, if it's somebody that you know well, friend, family that's super close to you, you built a really good relationship over a long period of time, I think it's absolutely acceptable to send them a message and be like, hey, listen, I'm doing this thing. I think you would love these products. Give them a try. Do I think some stranger that you just added yesterday, sending them a cold message would be appropriate? Absolutely not. I don't. Because you have to ask yourself, like, how am I proving myself to be trustworthy enough for me to ask this question and them to trust me to say yes? Have you built a relationship with them? Are they actually talking about stuff that you know that you could solve? So there's a different thing between cold messaging and you seeing a problem that you know you can solve and you've started to build a relationship. I'm not talking about like your besties. You don't have to be besties with somebody. There's no way that you can create best friend relationships with 3,000 people. We just don't have the time for that. So, but if you've built a genuine connection, maybe you've had a couple back and forth conversations, maybe you connected on like your kids are the same age, or you've asked them about something and they've provided you with an answer to something, or vice versa. And then you see them post about how exhausted they are in the morning. I feel like it's appropriate for you to make the recommendation to them. Hey, I know we've been talking back and forth together. I noticed the other day that you had posted about how you're so exhausted or you're not sleeping well, or like whatever that looks like. Saying like, hey, I have something that has worked so well for me because I used to struggle with the same thing. I would love to like send you out it so that you can try it out. That is the best way to do it. I miss such a very recent student. Then you just move on. So when I first started the business, my very best friend, she was my maid of honor in my wedding, did not buy from me, did not get a sample from me. In fact, she actually joined 2 other network marketing businesses. Some people just aren't going to, and you can't take it personally. You just got to move on. I think Lisa K. Fuller talks about like how she's a multimillionaire, you guys, and her mom and like sister still don't buy products from her or something like that. So you just got to move on. There's plenty of people on this planet that need what we have, and we just got to move on to the people that deserve our energy and that need us to show up for them. So that is the little selling tip. Next I want to go into when you're posting, and then I'm going to go into giving you ideas to post. When you're posting, what are some questions that you need to ask yourself? And these are super quick. So when you're making a post, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook, there's a few things that I would look at before hitting the submit button. The first thing is, will your headline, so the very first like few words that you say, capture attention and actually stop people from scrolling? So if you're just beginning your story, like explaining your story, jumping right in, chances are you're probably not going to get a whole lot of attention right off the bat. Now, if it's like maybe you're doing, I'll give you an example that I did yesterday. I just wrote in the headline, 5 different arm exercises you can do with 10-pound weights at home. And then I explained what the weights were, and then I went into providing value. Or the headline I used the other day was, you're allowed to shift, change, evolve at any given time. And then I explained a little bit about my story. And then the other day I was talking about mom bods, and I said, let's normalize the mom bod. And that was my heading with like an emoji right after. And then I went into my story. You got to have something in the beginning that is going to capture people's attention and actually cause them to stop scrolling. Yes, your photo can cause people to stop scrolling, but our intent is for them to read. Thank you. For them to read the caption that you're saying, because we're not spending all this time writing a story and then not having people actually read it. Have you ever, I'll just give you an example. Have you ever like posted a picture, maybe it's like you and your kids, or maybe it's of you, and you like pour your heart out into the post, and then you get comments like, you're so beautiful, and you're like, no, read my post. Or they're like, oh, you and your kids are so nice. I'm like, no, I was talking about the struggle that I have with my child that has ADHD or whatever. Like, read my post. Instead, they're just commenting about the picture itself. And what you're really wanting them to do is take the time to read what you're saying, because you're trying to help them. If you don't have a good tagline, you're not going to be able to capture that attention right away. So maybe it's starting off with like a little quote, or maybe it's like calling people out, like, listen, Linda, with a clap hand or something, if you're trying to like really drive a message home. Or asking a question in the beginning, like, have you ever felt this way? Who else can relate to this? Anything like that, something that is going to grab the attention of people right away. Hold on a second. As you're reading through the post that you're making, asking yourself, is this content providing value to somebody? Now, I do believe there's a time and a place where you can just post pictures of your family. And I think that's important too, to like mix stuff in that like has nothing to do with you trying to sell or nothing to do with you telling a story. It's just showcasing your life. Like, I think that's important too, because it helps people get to know you on a certain level. But what the ones I'm talking about are the ones that you're spending time on to connect with people or to get them to take some sort of action. So is that content providing value? Is it giving benefit to your audience? So are you giving them tips? Are you telling a story? Are you writing in a call to action, which I feel like you should have some sort of call to action at the end of every post if you can. Are you saving them time? Are you saving them money? Are you some sort of benefit? Does your post provide some sort of benefit? Because if you're just talking about yourself all the time, you guys, you're not giving people a reason to keep coming back to you. If you're providing value and solving benefits for them that are even outside of the products, people will want to keep consuming your content because you're making a difference in their life some way, shape, or form. I just said, listen, Linda. And then, the one after that, asking a question. So who can relate to this? Whatever that sounds like, any sort of thing that's going to ask them a question in the beginning. So are you providing a benefit? Last thing is there a clear call to action at the end of your post? You're not just making posts and wishing and hoping and praying that they'll catch the drift and reach out to you on their own accord. No, your audience sometimes needs direction. And sometimes you have to teach them how to interact with you. So if you're making a sample post, telling them, drop this if you're interested, drop an emoji of some kind or whatever. If you're writing this post about trying to relate to somebody and showing them how the products have helped you, your call to action might look like, my inbox is always open. Reach out to me. Heart this if you can relate. If you're on Instagram and you're providing value with like teaching something, so maybe you're doing like 5 steps to do this, or the easy workouts that you can do. Save this for later is a good one to do. Save this for when you have a time or save this for a quick workout idea, or save this next time you work out. Save is a good one. Double tap. You can use that one as a call to action on Instagram, or heart if you're on Facebook. Tag a friend who could use this advice to share this with a friend. Those are all call to actions that you can use. So those are the 3 things that you will want to try to ask yourself if it's a post that you're trying to provide value or get people to do something. Are you capturing attention and stopping scrolling? Are you providing value, some sort of benefit that's going to help your audience? And is there a clear call to action at the end? So those are the 3 things that you'll want to ask yourself. Whew. Let's get into some content ideas. So if you are new to this Zoom, there is another Zoom that you can hop on that helps to narrow down your niche. And that is on my YouTube channel. You can search Megan Holcomb and find that. But let's go into, if you know what your niche is, these are some things that you can talk about that cover multiple areas. So there's 6 things we're going to go over with 3 ideas in each of those categories. So 18 ideas that you can use. So that will stretch over 2 weeks for you guys that you can recycle with. The first one is teach. So teaching your audience something. Here are 3 things that you can do to teach your audience something. First one is solve a problem. in like 3 or 5 steps. So if maybe your niche is something that's mom related, like how can you help moms save time? How can you help them with de-stressing? How can you help them? Anything that you can help them that can be broken into like 3 or 5 steps. And then what you can do on Instagram, I'm just going to give you this idea because it's something that I learned that will actually keep repopulating, because if you're using multiple pictures or multiple slides, Instagram will continue to push your stuff out because you have multiple pictures. So you could do what's called a carousel. So you're like yesterday, what I did was 5 quick exercises you can do with 10-pound weights. And then I did 5 different slides behind that with like, here's this exercise, here's this exercise, here's this exercise, here's this exercise, because I want Instagram to keep pushing my content out. And if you have multiple slides, they will sometimes like show the first slide the first time they're showing it to somebody. And then the second time they're showing it to somebody, they'll show the second slide. So you can either do this with pictures, you can do this with a picture and then videos after. So like, let's say you're doing a recipe, you can show like the 5 steps of the recipe in different videos, as long as they're short enough. Or you can do this in text form. So you could have a text that says like 5 ways to de-stress. And then you could do text with 1, text with 2, text with 3, text with 4, text with 5. So that's the first one, is teaching them something in 3 to 5 steps, helping them. Share a useful technique. So I just am going to use this example because one of my girls, her niche is, she is an autism mom, so special needs. A technique like she could use is like how I can better communicate with my son, or how do I calm him down when he's having a sensory overload, or like whatever. For somebody that's like in the exercise space, how do I motivate myself to actually go work out? So giving some sort of technique. And for me, that's just cussing myself out. Honestly, I just like will say swear words at myself until I do it. So sharing some useful technique. Maybe it's even like, like how you have those like life hacks. Use like maybe a technique that's a life hack, like a quick life hack. How to easily fold laundry or whatever. I don't know. Something that's going to be a useful technique. Share how you do a specific task. So maybe your thing is motherhood, something to do with motherhood. Show how you keep your living room tidy, or like a technique that you do to like get your baby down to bed or whatever. How do you do a task? Any sort of task. So we're teaching. So those are the 3. Solve a problem in 3 to 5 steps. Share a useful technique that you use, and then share how you do a task. So those are 3 ones. The second one is inspire. So how are we going to inspire our audience? Share a lesson you've learned is the first one. So you could do this in a reel. One way that I did it in a reel was, so mine is health and wellness and exercising and diets and all that stuff. I said like a lesson I learned, like 3 things I wish I knew before I started work, or before when I tried to lose weight. And then I shared that. So like a lesson that I learned, like you don't actually need to eat only 1,200 calories or whatever that looks like. So sharing some sort of lesson you learned, and maybe that's like a piece of advice you got from somebody that you've carried with you your whole life that's helped you in your specific journey. Any sort of lesson that you've learned. And then the second one is tell a story that inspires. So I think of Lacey because her story always inspires me, and I see your face. Just talking about where she came from and like where she is now, and that like anything that's going to help people, like if they're in the situation that you were once in before, to help them see like light at the end of the tunnel. Like maybe you like struggled with addiction. Maybe you're somebody that struggled with weight loss. Maybe you're somebody that has struggled with being a single parent before, and how you've overcome that struggle so that you can help people out of their dark spot and help them to see there is a different way of life. And I want to help you get there. Show what is possible with persistence. So an instance where you never gave up on something and how it was beneficial for you. So again, I'll use my friend Clara, for example, with her son with autism. A great way that she showed persistence the other day was like the doctor originally told her that her son would never speak. He was always going to be nonverbal. And because she was persistent, got him the right tools, like he's starting to speak. Like that's persistence. Having no money whatsoever and being broke all the time to now that you're living in financial freedom, that's showing persistence. Always struggling with weight loss and never being successful, and now you're seeing success with it. That's persistence. Something that's going to show people that if you are consistent and you stick with things, that it's going to help you in the long run, because that is going to help you when you're bringing on business partners, when you're bringing on people that are wanting to lose weight, that aren't just going to think it's an overnight thing. So painting that picture for them, that persistence is really going to help. Oh, I love you too. Share is so I'll go over those three again. Share a lesson you've learned, tell a story that inspires, and show what is possible with persistence. Next is share. So the first one is share what's on your mind. Maybe you're having and this can be like any struggle that you're dealing with. Oh, that's one of the other ones. Just kidding. Share what's on your mind. This is kind of a touchy one because I think we automatically want to go with how are we feeling about the current situations in our world right now, right? Like you want to open up about that stuff. And I think there's a time and a place for it if it's shed in a positive light, not a negative light. You can definitely do that. If you're having, maybe you're just having an aha moment that you read a book and all of a sudden you have this epiphany and you're like, oh my gosh, I just have to share this with somebody because I know that they need to hear it. So sharing what's on your mind. Number 2 would be tell a story from your life. That can kind of go along with inspire, but just doing it again in a different instance in your life. And then open up about a struggle. This could be about a current struggle that you're having. We were just talking about my team and I were just talking about why is it that every time you're on the phone or you decide to click the live button, all of a sudden your kids need stuff at that time? Why is that? They're no peep from them whatsoever. The second you pick up the phone on a phone call, it's like all hell breaks loose and they have 9,050 questions to ask you. It's crazy. And what did you say, Heather? That they're all communicating. This is a pact that they have before they're born. That
it's when they learn to talk, they take an oath.
Yeah. I don't do sharing my posts from Instagram to Facebook. I do my stories that way, but I don't do my posts because as much as I can, I try to organically utilize the platform and respect that platform. So opening up about a struggle. And this is where vulnerability comes in. And I know it's scary for some people to talk about vulnerable things because you're worried about judgment. You're worried about what people are going to say. Maybe you haven't quite healed a certain thing and you're not ready to talk about it. And I don't think if you're in the right place to talk about it, you should force yourself to, but there's a lot of healing that comes with talking about a struggle. So maybe there's been days where I'm super overwhelmed and I've gone on and I'm I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I'm feeling really overwhelmed today. And then you can speak at the end of the day, these are the things that I did throughout the day to help me combat that stress feeling or whatever. But I've also learned that as I open up and share about my vulnerabilities and my struggles, it helps me connect with people on a deeper level that you might not even know are dealing with the same things that you're dealing with. And you can really help them because you decided to be brave and share your story. You see, yes, that's why I say doing voice demos are so important, because then they can see that you're a real human, that your kids are singing loudly in the background and your dogs are barking at stupid stuff. It just makes you a real person. It's not you're in this enclosed glass box just saying the same thing to every person, but it also helps you show people, especially when you're talking about the business, that you can have a chaotic life and still be successful within this business. So I think doing those voice clips is huge. Or even like if you're doing live video and your daughter happens to come in your office and knock over your light ring, like that's happened to me before. I just say like, look, if I can do this and my life is a hot mess, like so can you. Like I am not perfect by any means. And if I can do this, so can you. It just helps people see that you're relatable. So that's what opening up about a struggle does too. So share what's on your mind, tell a story from your life, open up about a struggle. And the next one is show what you're working on today. Maybe you are packing up samples. Show the samples that you're packing up. Maybe you're doing like a little house project. Show them that you're doing that. Something that I sometimes show is like when I'm planning my meals for the week, like what does my meal list look like? How do I grocery shop? Like, what are you doing working on today? Show how you do something. So this can be, how you do your laundry. I don't know. Show how, like for me, like how you do specific exercises. That's what I've been doing because people are like, I just don't even know where to start. So showing them how to do exercises, showing them how you do go grocery shopping for 3 teenage boys that are hungry all the time. I don't know, like anything that can help other people, showing you how to do something. Showing the results of a recent project that you've had or a process that you've gone through. Maybe I just think of Lacey again. Like, how did you pack up and move to a whole new state? Like, I'm sure there's people that think about those things and maybe they want to do the same thing. They're just like, I don't even know where to begin or how I would even do that. So like share how you went through the process. If you are, I'm trying to think of what else might be a good way. I mean, this can be even like a long-term process, like how, for me, like show how I lost weight or whatever. That's a process that I did. Or a recent project. Maybe I think of like Amanda on my team. She shows like how she's remodeling her living or her laundry room on a daily basis. It doesn't even have to be related to Thrive. It can be just your life in general. So with show what you're working on today, show how you do something, and then show the results of a recent process or project. Okay, then the next one is ask. Ask your followers what they think. People love to give their opinions on things, as we can see on social media sometimes. So people love to give their opinions. If you're going to Texas, ask them what outfit you should wear. Ask them what they think about this hairstyle or this hairstyle. If you're trying to do your, color your hair, if you're doing your nails, ask them like which one they would choose. You can do this as a poll series in your stories. Like I am having, like, for instance, my husband and I have started the process of shopping for a truck and we're like debating on 2 different ones. I asked them like, which one do you think? This one or this one? And like, which color? This one or this one? So asking them, that's a great way for you to engage with your audience, create engagement, and that sort of thing. And ask for their opinion. Ask them what they want to see. This is so good for you to be able to gauge if you're in the right direction. What are the things they want to see about you? So you can do this in a poll series like I've done. And I just ask them random questions like, do you want to see indoor workouts or outdoor workouts? Do you want to see more information about calories or macros? Or I'm just giving you my example because it's what I can think of. And I'm actually going to do something like that today because people are like lazy scrolling on stuff on Sundays usually. So I want to do something that's going to boost my engagement for the week. So you can ask them like this or that sort of things. What do they want to see? Do they want to see projects with your kids? Or how to time manage things or whatever that looks like. Do a series of polls and ask them what they want to see. Your social media is not for you. It is for them. And if you're only showing them things that you want to talk about and not what they're actually more intrigued about, you're going to miss the mark. And that's why your engagement is not where it should be. ask, just kidding. Ask them about their experiences. So maybe you're packing for Thrivepalooza this week. Like, tell me the ways that you pack. How do you pack for just a carry-on? What sort of clothes you bring when you're shifting from one climate to another? Because I'm in Minnesota and right now it's like 40 degrees today and it's going to be like 80 in Texas. So I don't want to be cold when I get home or go on the plane, but I don't want to like carry a bunch of stuff with me. So that's something you can ask for that. You can ask that how they've dealt with specific situations. Like, how do you get a picky eater to eat food? How do you, I don't know, any sort of specific experience. Ask them what they've done. Because again, we're not know-it-alls. And if we're really wanting to create a community is back and forth. Community isn't just you speaking to people all the time. You're gathering ideas, providing ideas, getting insight, providing insight. It's a back and forth sort of thing. So ask, here are the 3 things again. Ask your followers what they think. Ask them what they want to see, and ask them about their experience with a specific topic. Last one is celebrate. I think we get to celebrate our accomplishments, right? It gets people excited for us. It gives people permission to celebrate their own wins in their life. And to be honest, a lot of us work really hard. So celebration is a good thing. So ways that you can celebrate. You can celebrate a client win or success. So maybe this is a testimonial that you have from some of your customers, like how good they're feeling on the products, what they're noticing, that they're sleeping better, like whatever, providing some sort of client testimonial, their success, because then this also gives them validation that it's not just you that this is working for, it's working for other people too. Celebrate someone in your community. So that's where shout outs come in, and they don't even have to be on your team. Like, celebrate a sister, a sideline sister that is absolutely killing it. Maybe like interview her and ask her what she's doing, the success that she's seeing, and congratulate her and ask her what she's been able to accomplish with the business or with the products. Shouting them out on your page with a picture and just say like, hey, it shows that you are not just selfless and care about your own success, that you're caring about the success of other people. And this is a community of people, and we cheer each other on, whether we're on each other's teams or not. That's so huge. And then celebrate a big milestone in your business, whether that is you received your first 3-digit paycheck. Maybe you took something off your dream board that's been there forever. Maybe you even just took off something that's on your dream board that's insignificant, and it's little, but it's significant. It might seem insignificant, but to you it's significant. Celebrate your milestones. Celebrate the things that you've accomplished, because it helps other people see more for their life. So if you are traveling to Thrivepalooza this weekend, like, I'm so excited that I actually get to hop on a plane for the first time, or that I am attending my first conference. Those are big milestones, that you get to meet some people that you've never met before, and you're excited to meet them and connect with them. That maybe you've never even been to Texas. Like, talk about how excited you are to travel to a new state. That's a big thing for people. That's a milestone. So like for me, I have girls from my team coming, and I'm so excited that I get to be in a room with my girls and be able to spoil my team for the first time. So that's something that's huge for me. Yeah, totally. Ask them what luxury car you should get. Absolutely. So with celebrate, here are the 3 things. Celebrate your clients' wins. Celebrate someone in your community, whether that's in your downline or sideline or upline or anybody. And then celebrate one of your big milestones. So that's what I got for content ideas. I hope that those were helpful. Make sure that you're showing up in your stories, you guys, daily. So stories don't build your network. They're not going to like grow your network, but what they do is build connection with the people that already follow you. So if you're only if you're only like showing your 3 steps in your stories, you're missing a large opportunity for you to intimately connect with people through various things you do throughout the day, because maybe they can relate to them. So like I will show my 3 steps, and then I'll show like stuff with my faith, and then I'll show my dog's like sleeping in really weird positions. And then I might show like my daughter doing something silly, and then I'll show like workouts that they can do. Like it's the behind the scenes of your life. If you're only posting like 1 or 2 stories a day, you're missing an opportunity for you to really connect people. And I know the thought that, but my life is so boring. Everyone's life is boring according to themselves. But maybe you can, give somebody a slight laugh because your dog is sleeping in the oddest position, or your kid said something super funny, or whatever. It's about building connection with people that are already in your community. So making sure that you're showing your 3 steps, that you are somebody that actively uses the products, and don't do it the same way every time. Don't just show a picture of your capsules every day. Maybe you prop up your video or your phone and you're mixing your shake, and you don't even have to be talking about the products. You can just say like, I'm mixing up my mix for the day. And then you can talk about something that's totally irrelevant, but they see you actively doing the 3 steps. Don't always think that you have to be like, these capsules wake me up every single morning. This mix helps me with this. This patch helps me with this. No, you can actively like engage as you're doing the steps. There are times where maybe you only have a moment to show the capsules, and that's fine. And talk about how, just say no coffee needed. You don't have to make anything super lengthy or crazy. People are like, whoa, wait, why doesn't she need coffee in the morning? That's crazy. Or if you're at your end of your day, like, thankful this helped me accomplish everything today. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Reality TV, exactly. How many people watch reality shows? So many, because secretly it's like you like kind of want to eavesdrop on people's lives, as creepy as that might sound, but that's the world we live in. Is that people, they want ideas, they want connection, they want to see how other people do things, they want to see, like, peek into the lives of other people, because maybe they haven't been able to leave their house for a really long period of time, and that's how they connect, is that they're watching other people. I learn so much from other people by watching their stories. So much. Why not be that person for somebody else? Guilty. Does anyone have questions? We can leave the last couple minutes for questions or clarifications. Now, I always say this because I don't want to like go into a 10-minute tangent. This is macro scale, not micro scale. So if you're wanting to like, how do I add a GIF onto, not that, if you just want clarification on like a specific something. You're welcome. And I'll get this recording up within the next half hour, and it'll be in the thread of the announcements, so that everybody, if you have people that maybe couldn't attend, you can pass this on to them. Engagement. Increasing engagement. I can talk about that real quick. Absolutely. How to increase engagement. Ways to improve your engagement in stories would be like a poll series. So like I said, the this or that thing, asking them what they want to see. You can even do like this or that relates to your niche, that has like nothing to do about products or services or anything like that. So like one day I just did like indoor or outdoor. What else did I say? Salty or sweet? But that's all relatable to me, because then I can know what, do I talk more about like salty snacks that I can help them with, or sweet snacks that I can help them out with? Another way to improve engagement is showing the love first. You got to be showing the love for the people that are following you, engaging with them on a daily basis, commenting on their stories, commenting on their posts, leaving thoughtful comments. You can't expect love if you're not giving it. Yeah, Pinterest is really good for this or that. I like that. Pinterest is like life for me. I get a lot of ideas from Pinterest. And trying to think of what else. That's probably that. Literally, engagement is just knowing that you're hitting the mark with your people. Are you showing enough love, and are you hitting the mark? That's what likes and comments are. It has nothing to do with how valuable of a person you are. It has nothing to do with your self-worth or anything like that. Engagement is just a way for you to tell, am I showing enough love, or am I providing content that people are actually getting value from? That's the only thing. It's a gauge. We look at likes and comments as this like measurement of who we are as a person, and that's not how we should look at it. You should be looking at it as like, am I showing enough love in the world, and am I providing enough value in the world? End of story. And then you just make tweaks as you go. My engagement goes up and down, and then I know, oh, maybe I need to go back to doing something like this because this is what I saw a lot of engagement with. So recycling that same sort of content because they obviously really liked it. So I'm going to do it again in a different way. Or maybe it's an indication that I need to spend a little more time getting to know people more by commenting on their stuff. It's just a gauge. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're pretty enough or your picture's good enough or da 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 da. It's just, am I showing love? Am I providing value? And if you feel like your engagement is dipping, you just need to reevaluate those two things, and that's it. Stop overcomplicating it, I think. And stop basing like your value in this business whether or not you get likes on a post. Sometimes I get 0 likes or comments on things. Sometimes I get like 5. Sometimes I get like 500, but nobody actually buys anything. It's not a good gauge of whether or not you're successful in the business. It's just a way to gauge if you are connecting with people well enough. Okay. Any other questions? We're almost at the top of the hour, so I'm going to stop recording things.